Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high level game of StarCraft 2. Today we have in the bottom left spawning as our blue Terran player, playing for Team Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It's Cure. And in the top right here on data series, Red Zerg player, formerly playing for Team NV, and now I believe teamless, it's going to be a DRG. Team NV, it's an interesting one. So they disbanded, but a lot of the players are still in Team NV until they find a new team. Like, it continues, I think they called it a club. What that exactly means, I'm not so sure, but they're still together and they seem like a tight bunch. Fun fact is that Creator, who also is/was in Team NV, was promised a car if he would have good results. And as Creator has had good results as of late, they actually gave him a car. I think it was last week. Really sick. I mean, it wasn't like a Formula 1 car or a Porsche or something like that. It's still a freaking car for free. It's a type of stuff that you don't hear too much about in StarCraft 2, honestly. So management seems to be quite nice in Team NV. Like I said, have disbanded at this point. Now let's talk a little bit about Cure. Cure is an interesting one, because Cure last year in GSL Season 3 2021 won the GSL against Zest in the finals. I think it was with a 4-2 score, if I recall correctly. And at that point, I think a lot of people were like, alright, finally, Cure lived up to his full potential. He showed the world what he's capable of. Surely he's going to continue this type of shape, and we'll see this high-level Cure for a bit more. But then he just dropped right back down to where he usually was. Which, don't get me wrong, is still a fantastic level. In the past 6-7 years, I think Cure pretty consistently has been a top 10, top 12 player in the world. And once again, I believe that to be the case. But he has never really impressed me in a huge way for more than one tournament in a row. He's one of these very inconsistent players that sometimes figures out a build or a playing style in a matchup and just wins basically everything in it. And then once he loses that bit of confidence in a matchup or in a playing style, it feels like he goes right back to being where he was before. And that kind of sucks for him. Lately, I have to say though, he's starting to get quite good again. I'm not sure if it has anything to do with Season 3 of the GSL approaching again, or, well, already being played out. Or if it's just, you know, because he wants to be good again. I don't quite know what it is, what makes him good, but at the moment, he looks really good. He's been taking a lot of the open ESL Cups in Korea, taking out some very high-level players. And now he's about to fight against the... Oh my god. Third CC on location. Ooh. Wow. That is a huge risk that he's taking here, with very little payoff as well, may I add. Very, well, not very little payoff. There's actually a decent amount of payoff. Wow, I'm just shocked, honestly. This is the type of stuff you'd expect out of Gumiho, not out of Cure. So, what does this do? It allows you to build more SCVs, because your CC is already in position. Usually your CC would have to fly from a high ground to this position. Most of the time though, Terrans take this forward base rather than this type of line shape when it comes to a third base. I'm not sure if that's because flying over towards the third base line location would be too far and it would lose you like 2-3 SCVs of building time. But even this, an SCV takes 12 seconds to build, and, you know, uprooting from here and then landing over here, it costs you about 12, maybe 16 seconds or so. So that's an SCV and a half. On top of that, you also get instant saturation on this base, of course. Now there are some downsides, and that's the moment your opponent realizes what's happening, they can just send a couple of links over, forcing your Hellions back the entire time, which is super annoying. Here come 4 Hellions in right now. Let's take a look at the actual build orders behind this as well. We're seeing, what is this? 8 Hellions, single Liberator. Very interesting, I do like that. Triple Marines as well here. As DRG is going to scout this. Throws down a lair as well as a Baneling Nest. So opting to skip the double Evo, which DRG is so well known for. Really loves these double link upgrades. Oh, there's a Viking first as well, I didn't even quite catch that. I like this opener here out of Cure, I just have to admit it. Spores are being thrown down right now as well. Some... I have no clue what this is defending, but surely there's better positions for that. Surely there's better positions for that. Aliens make their way in here towards this third base. Get 6 drone kills. Actually managed to get out for free as well. At the same time I was hearing some Liberator shots. Okay, maybe not all the drone count or all the drone kills were with these Hellions actually. Probably the Liberator contributed a little bit to that. 2 kills already on this Viking as well. And Cure is actually kind of owning so far. It's going up to 4 barracks, adding 2 E-base as well. Or up to 5 barracks, excuse me. As well as getting a reactor here on this factory. It's continuing to build add-ons. Kinda like it. I really do kinda like it. Lots of creep tumors are being spread, and that is a necessity, not a luxury at this point for DRG, because he hardly has any freaking creep. He's actually struggling mightily to get any creep out to any of his 5th bases. That could be an issue if you want to be playing some type of mass link style. Isn't quite the case actually, as you see a fast spire being thrown down here for Dongregu. We're now gonna take this bottom side base. This bottom side base can be so hard to hold though. Really something we need to keep in mind. Really, really difficult to hold at times. Because there's just no creep there majority of the time. Reaper's gonna spot that, as this base is barely in vision of the watchtower. Technically it isn't. Like I think it cuts off before, but I'm not quite sure how that works. But you can see it. That's all I know. You can see any main structure from that watchtower. That's also true. Double evos are going to be thrown down here right now. These marines will be capable of cancelling this base. Like I mentioned, this base is really difficult. And this potentially could have been an issue had this been a Ling Bane type of opener. Who actually gets to keep it alive, which is nice. And now we have to drop in towards the main base. This carries some risk with it though for Cure here, who's not aware of the Mutalisk yet. Has seen 3 gases so far. Now just sees a bunch of links, sees the first Muta fly out. Immediately needs to respond to that, obviously. It's fairly important. Do we still have anything? I saw something being picked up. Yeah, double drop heading towards the right side here. The Reaper moves towards the tower. Wonder if Cure can even stay off creep here. I think he can. But if you get caught by a Lingbane Muta army and you lose the fight, you also lose the medevacs. That is one of the big disadvantages of playing against Mutalisks. The question is, does DRG want to keep these mutas at home the entire time? Does he want to move across the map? Does not have the baneling speed yet. I think that is an error. I don't think this was planned. Oh my god, huge mine hit as well, going to connect with a bunch of these Mutalisks right now. The banelings are waddling forward. Do get some pretty decent connections actually. Somewhat surprised by that. 1, 2 mutas getting popped out of the sky there. I think that was 2 at least. Oh, 3 mutas have already gone down here. Kind of a painful start here for Dongregu, who's also still stuck without that centrifugal hooks. It feels like he believes that it's already resurging, because centrifugal hooks is an absolute key upgrade in this matchup. Once again, just like the creep, that's not a luxury in this matchup. The fact that it's not done yet and it hasn't started yet is starting to worry me a little bit. Mutas have been forced to stay at home as well. And of course, the main focus of Mutas ideally is going to be harassing. You want to harass mineral lines, you want to try and deal some damage, force out turrets, all that good jazz. Now finally we get centrifugal hooks down, but it might already be a little bit too late. DRG is going to have such a rough time holding this without Baneling speed. He's going to set up a counter-attack. These Banelings are going to get caught out of position here. More creep scans are coming down as Cure continues pushing forward. Does need to be careful. Has a slightly overstimmed army with an empty medevac squad as well. 2 new medevacs are coming in here. I think it's on the left side, but that's a big army to have to heal up. Not a huge fan of this rotation either. It is somewhat surprising to me. He cleared a lot of creep on the far right side. Had a clean pushing path as well. I guess he wants to make sure that his top base isn't being taken. He's gonna get a lot of tumors here. I also feel like this bottom side position is just better for fighting overall, but I could be incorrect there. I could be mistaken. Second Tor is already being produced. The moment the second Tor is out, Mutalisk harass will become a lot less viable. That means that these Mutalisks have basically just been house sitting this entire time. Now, don't get me wrong, it's great to have Mutalisk in this type of fight. Like I said, if you win a fight, you can chase someone back, but it's not really the purpose of the unit. If you want a good defensive unit that fight, that fights, it's the Hydralisk. It helps way more in these fights than the Muta does. The Muta is really a harassment unit. It's a little bit like hiring private security to secure your garden shed. Like, I'm sure the private security will do a great job, but they would be better securing something else because you don't... there's cheaper solutions to make sure that your bike doesn't get stolen out of your garden shed. Just getting a lock, for example. Actually, these mutas aren't even that great at just straight up defending. Their actual damage output often isn't that large. That mine! Huge mine shot is going to connect here as the mine stayed alive with what felt like 3 HP here. And managed to get a shot off, killing like 7-8 banelings there. Somehow, some way though, DRG is staying alive for now. Still has a Mutalisk count of 16 as well. And I kinda like that. I kinda do like that. If he ever gets across the map, that could be big. And we have some single turrets being sprawled around here. But because there has been no real pressure on the other side of the map, it's all single turret stuff. The moment +2 finishes up and you have 20 Mutalisks, I mean, these turrets are just gonna die immediately. It's just the effect of life. You know what's kind of funny? Is that not harassing with these mutas for so long might actually end up being an advantage in that regard. In that Cure is going to be super underprepared for when the harassment really happens. Oh no, it's actually not true. Look at him. Adding extra turrets already. So, despite these mutas never making their way across the map, Cure says, hey, I know this is still a threat. I'm not a complete idiot. I know Mutalisks are going to start harassing eventually, and I need to be ready for that. Thor gets a shot off on that Mutalisk clump. Reaper still holds this watchtower, by the way. This has been the most valuable Reaper in the world. He's literally seen everything happen. Just praying the entire time that no one finds him. Legit hiding in plain sight. I mean, this is one of the most popular locations, of course, to send some links to. It's not happening quite yet. There are 2 mines here, but this seems like a bad setup here for Cure. It's going to be completely on creep. DRG is rolling in with those Banes. He's going to clean up this army with relative ease. At the same time, this bottom side army also will not be capable of breaking this. DRG getting an insane cleanup here. Starts his Adrenal Gland, starts his +3 for the flyer attacks as well as +3 for melee. Carapace on top of that. And here goes DRG just straight up moving across the map. Cure right now in a world of trouble. These command centers here are hopefully not the main target, as I don't think they're quite as important. This base up here definitely could be taken out by a couple of Baneling morphs though. Something we should keep in mind. Depot wall is being taken out. Will make any follow-up Ling run-bys any, well, you know, a little bit better. Any Baneling attacks on that. But it's not a planetary actually. It's just an orbital. I keep forgetting that. It's because he switched the location of the 3rd and the 4th. This actually is an orbital right now. That means that Ling run-bys will be extremely effective. Another orbital gets constructed here. And that brings the total up to 6 soon. This Thor in a bit of trouble. Is going to get taken out. No repair whatsoever. No Marines to help him out either. As Marauders are showing up. Stimming his entire army here, Marauders as well, to try and fight some Mutalisk, obviously is not the optimal play. This is costing a lot of energy here on these medevacs. Look at that. The overstim is real and he keeps... They're like here for mental support, these Marauders. Well, I can't help, but I'll be there. So they charge into the Mutalisk. No anti-air weapon. Great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. Honestly, it's pretty expensive because a Marauder stim also is more expensive than a Marine stim. And I get more stims coming in here. And these medevacs are having a tough time healing everything up. Thor in the back is dishing out a fair chunk of damage against these mutas. And the Thor does get sniped right now. And once again, DRG is somewhat of a successful fight. 2 more Thors are moving in right now. These Banelings will not get the connections that they want. We're currently stuck on 6 medevacs. With an army this size, that might actually just be enough. Don't forget, a lot of the army in here also consists of these 2 Thors. They don't need healing. Although having medevacs for Thors is nice as well, because you can pick them up and move them back, right? Orbital Command has been used to secure this 6th base. That means this is not a very stable location, not an easy location to fall back on. But it does mean that if Banelings roll in, is that you can lift this command center, which is nice, you know? You have your advantages, you have your disadvantages, and that definitely is a minor advantage. In general, having planetaries at bases is just better though. This top left side base has gone unspotted completely. This is kind of what I was thinking. I think if DRG was aware of that base, he would have tried attacking it already. It feels like this base should be so darn vulnerable. Now we finally have a Link Scout, and immediately the Mutas move over there. This time around though, Cure is going to get in position here with his Storm Marine Hellbat army. Interesting that he's starting to add Hellbats rather than continuing mine production here. I wonder what the logic is behind this. It feels like Hellbats might be a little bit more consistent in their performance, but mines surely have a way higher capability, have a way higher chance of killing a lot. I mean, Hellbats will just die to Banes no matter what happens. This army once again on creep is going to get completely destroyed here by DRG. This seems a little bit silly to do this time after time. That does lose Cure a little bit of footing on the far left side of the map. Perhaps allowing DRG to go and harass with the Mutas, but no, DRG feels the need to pull back right now as there's another army that's trying to move on creep. Cure really does need to be careful though. Just lost a lot of supply, okay. DRG says, I can lose that bottom right side base, you're going to lose the top left base. DRG has a lot of mining, still has a decent bank as well. There goes the first turret, he does not get one shot here. That means that these turrets actually will deal a crap ton of damage. The planetary gets taken out, Cure moves back over towards the far right side. And DRG takes this as his, I guess his 6th that is going to be now that this bottom right has been taken out. Another command center will get blasted as well here as the Mutas fly in and try and target it down, but with 4 Marines and a... Can you land if you're pooped on? I'm not sure. Can you? Wow. I did not know that. I thought you might not even be able to lift. Maybe if it's already queued up you can do it? You can even start a planetary? What? Surely that's a bug, no? I did not know you could start a planetary while being pooped on by these overseers. That is pretty sick actually. That is pretty sick. Alright, this is a really important defense because this is going to be the newest mining base here for DRG. Banelings moving in right now. Thors dealing a lot of damage against these Mutalisks. 19 Mutas are still alive. This army is going to survive for now. The right side, oh my god, how many Thors is there? There's freaking 2-3 Thors over here. There's 4 Thors on the bottom side. Cure saying, hey, you know what's cool? Thors. Thors are cool. And with that plus through vehicle plating, actually packed quite a bunch. Holy crap, how did this game end just now? That was insane. Let's see that again. So I want to see this, if I'm going crazy when it comes to... Yeah, he started it while being pooped on by an overseer. I did not know that was possible. Look at this fight. Was it just 2? It was 3 Thors. My man built freaking 7 Thors. I did not think that Thors were this good against Ling Bane as well, because right side was just pure Ling Bane. I guess they have a lot of tanking power and do a lot of damage as well. Look at that. 14 kills here, 16 kills, 8 kills. Freaking Thors, man. Ridiculous. Still a bunch of Marines here as well. Yeah. Game just ended. That's actually kind of weird. That's actually kind of sick. I did not think the game was going to end like this. Work account pretty close. GG, good job. Alright, well, that's going to be it for me. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this game. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and bye-bye.